Hi guys, welcome to my craft room. I just wanted to share with you a few of the new things that I have in my room, or I guess the new way that I have set up a few things in my room. My last overall scrap room tour was in July of 2014, which wasn't all that long ago. So if you're looking for a really thorough, detailed scrap room tour of my room that shows you, inside of my drawers and all the things that I'm, the ways that I'm storing things, feel free to check out that one. I will try to remember to link to it in the information section for this video. So this is going to be a quicker, I use that word very reluctantly because I never have a short scrap room tour, but a quicker video just if you want to see the overall view of my scrap room now that I've added a few things. The main thing that I've added is the pegboard. I've added pegboard in 3 different places. So it's right there, it's right here, and then it's also, bear with me, I'm going to try to move more slowly, right there in my kids' craft storage area. So the story behind this, I'm just gonna slowly go over here. So the story behind this pegboard, which I've always had pegboard there, but I used to have just 2 small squares of pegboard, and it was part of the Recollections storage cube stuff that you get from Michael's, and it didn't, I mean, it looked fine, but I have had this pegboard. I'm just going to come up a little bit closer to it. So I've had this pegboard in the back room of one of our basement storage rooms for quite some time, and what this is, hang on, I'm going to turn you around. So I've had this pegboard in the back room, 2 panels like this. So there were 4 panels that were hinged together in pairs. You can't see the hinge there because it's covered by the scissors. So this was my dad's pegboard, and he was a craftsman. He was a carpenter who, in addition, he worked for the Department of National Defense on submarines and ships and stuff, doing the woodwork, and he was a shipwright, but in his spare time what he did was he would make these little wooden toys. I'm just gonna see if I can zoom in a little bit here. So he would make, most of these wooden toys here are things that my dad had made. So not the New York City buildings, but all of the cars are things that he built. And he used to sell them at craft stores, at craft shows. And so he built these displays and he hinged them together so that they would stand up on the floor at an angle, or stand on a table or something at an angle. And then he built little shelving units that he could put into the pegboard, and he painted it this beautiful shade of blue. And when my mom was cleaning out her basement to renovate it, she came across these panels of pegboard and asked me if I had any use for them. So I said yes, but I didn't have an immediate use for them. I've been storing them in my basement, and now I'm really, really pleased to get a chance to put them in my own scrap room, which is painted this yellow, and the yellow is a beautiful shade of yellow, but it was quite a lot. I felt like I needed something to cover up some of the yellow just because it was a lot, and there was a lot of bare space in my room. And so I decided to put these panels up this week. And this is the first one, and it holds a bunch of my kids' craft supplies. And so I just went to the hardware store and bought a variety of different kinds of hooks and things that you can place on pegboard. So like those things hold the glitter glue quite nicely, and it also holds regular glue, and then that bigger glue wasn't fitting as well, so I just put 2 hooks and little containers that I can store their Cuttlebug stuff in, or I guess they've got a Cuddle Kids, not a Cuttlebug. For some reason we have multiple sets of scissors. I don't know why, we only have 2 kids, but we've got a lot of scissors. And just kind of, these are their trays that they use when they're beading or doing messy things, and some old scrapbooking templates that I had that I gave them, and some Play-Doh tools that are just too bulky to store elsewhere, and their easels, their art easels there. And so I thought that this was a really nice way to get some vertical storage into the kids' craft area, and I think it looks really cool, and it's nice to have their supplies out in the open where they can see them. So this is their set of Jetmax cubes. So there's 3 of those storage cubes there that hold their supplies like letter stickers and pom-poms and all that sort of thing. And this is the table where they do their work when they join me. And when they don't join me, I use this space for my trimmer. So I usually have my trimmer out. I'll put it away when they're working here just to give them more space. And I do keep my Cameo on their table now because I've moved my printer over beside my computer. So this is their kind of artwork setup area. My daughter Sophie just made a Halloween layout, and she also was doing some other crafty things over there. And they keep their paint supplies in that tub under there, and some scrapbooking stuff down there in those iris containers that we all use. So I'm back at the door now, and I just want to show you the other thing that I did with this chipboard, or pegboard, is I kind of put it behind. You guys have seen this bank of scrappy cube storage before, and I haven't really changed it all that much. I have moved it so that I keep my Project Life stuff here instead of, I used to keep them out on my desk way over, I'll show you where. Over by where that stuff is right now. So that's where my Project Life stuff used to be, but I don't actually use these cards all that much, so I thought I would put them in these cubes over here instead of taking up real estate on my desktop. And I really like that if I need them, I can grab them. I can pull out, this one pulls out, like the shelf actually pulls out, and I have them labeled by kit. So I have the Honey collection and the Seasons and the Jade collection right here. And then on this one, which I can't pull out the shelf because it's on a fixed shelf, I have my old Clementine and some other filler cards from different times when I was part of different kit clubs and stuff. And some of those like this is just kind of miscellaneous and older cards and cards that I made myself and that sort of thing. So I like having them there because if we need to write a note to the teacher or put something inside of a card or put something with something or attach a tag onto something, sometimes I'll just come down here and grab one of these and hole punch it and put it on something. So they're good to have handy, but I don't really need them on my workspace table. I'm not going to talk about what I keep in all of these cubes because I do talk about that in another video, and I really haven't changed the way that I store these things. One thing that I have changed is the top of this looks quite a bit different. So I had a bunch of a couple of these set up as shelves, and I've decided against doing that now. And I figured that these drawers, which this is a drawer from a cube unit, but I'm not actually using it as drawers. So I put together the drawers anyways, and I'm just using it to store my Scraptastic stamps. So these are the stamps that come in the kits, and then these are in the scrapbooking kits, and then these are the stamp sets that come in This Life Noted kits. And then right here, I just keep all of my Lawn Fawn, the stamp sets that come with dies, or just dies themselves, Lawn Fawn dies. The dies and the coordinating die and stamp sets are all right here, all the ones that I have. And that's the main thing that I use for making cards. And then I have my scrapbooking stamps in this pink basket, in the basket with the pink liner. So I have a separate video where I talk about how I store my scrapbooking stamps. And then I also have my card making stamps. So these would be all stamps with like sentiments or things that you would put on cards. So a couple of Lawn Fawn sets there, and other just card related stamps right there in that basket. My washi tape is still where it's always been, and I think I think in my last video I was storing my 6x6 paper pads somewhere on the top of these shelves. And my tags and stuff for Project Life are right there and there. And so what I did was I put the pegboard so that it is behind all of that stuff. And it's a great place for me to keep my Crocodile, which really didn't have a good home until now, and those scoreboard things by We Are Memory Keepers that help you make boxes and envelopes and gift bags. So I have 3 of those, and they store nicely on 2 hanger things that I just put side by side. And then the set that I came with some of these shelf holder things, but I didn't have a shelf that was the right size, so I just took an unassembled piece of a Jetmax drawer and I just used that for my shelf, and it gives me a place to keep my foam things. Allison sent me that from YouTube. She's Good Grief You, and with the spinner with all of the little blender tool thingies on it, and so I keep that there so that I can access it more easily. It used to be on a higher shelf that was hard for me to reach because I'm only short, I'm 5 feet tall, and then I just keep the extra blending things in there right beside it. And I have some hooks that don't have anything on them yet, but you know, room to grow. And then this stamp here, this big stamp that also never did have a real home, it fits really nicely on one of these pegs that's designed to hold, I don't know, some type of a tool, pliers or something. The edges of these pieces were pretty beat up because there were really large hinges on them. So I just took some washi tape. It's peeling a little bit here. I'll have to put some glue on there. But I just put some washi tape that blends in with it. It's actually this washi tape, which came in a Studio Calico kit from a year or two ago. 2 years ago, I guess it would have been. And I just put a couple of pieces over the yucky part because I didn't want to repaint it. I wouldn't be able to find the same paint, and I really liked the color that it was. And I really liked that this was the color that my dad chose for this pegboard, so I wanted to keep it the way that it was. So, and then I just put a little sticker. This is from the handmade collection from Echo Park, and it says, "Love is a well-stocked craft room." So I thought that was kind of nice to put up there. And then right here on the other side that had hinge marks on it, I just took an old sticker from the Everyday Eclectic collection, I think that came from, and then that's another one from the handmade collection from Echo Park, the new collection. It's called Happiness is Homemade. And then up there was just a little scratch up there, so I just put a banner sticker set from, or sticker from a set that I can't remember the name of. And then that basket is actually empty, but it's a good place for me to put something someday. So I like having extra space. And then I think this is all the same that it was before. I have my alphabet stickers, or my alphabets that are chipboard or letters or things that are not sticky, in that Martha Stewart storage thing. And then I keep, this is kind of like my alphabet center right here. So that, and then these two baskets and that thing hold all of my alphabets. So those are my small alphabets. Those are my big alphabet stickers, alphabet stamps, and then alphabet things that are not sticky. Then this is where I keep my kits, and I've always kept my kits on pegboard here. It's just different pegboard now. I went ahead and put some of my kids' artwork up above in the space. And this is the Heart It Races kit. And these storage things that I keep my wood veneers in, those are from Michaels. I get a lot of questions about those. I don't know the brand of them, but they come in sets of 2, and you just kind of clip them together. And they make, you know, you can buy as many sets as you need. So I really like those, and they cover up the messy side of that pegboard, so I didn't bother covering that. But then again, I just did the same thing here with that same washi tape, and then I just took a chipboard sticker from Dear Lizzie, and it says, "This is my happy place." So I really like how this looks now. It does a really nice job of showcasing the kit, and the kit happens to coordinate quite nicely this month with the color of the chipboard. And then I just keep the paper and stamps and other things that are not hangable in this right there on the kit. And then down there's where I keep the This Life Noted kit for the month that I have, and I've already done my This Life Note, like I've already done my pocket page for this month, so it's not in there anymore. There's my new stuff that I just got from the Scraptastic store, and I just did a haul video about it, so that's why that's still out there. I don't think I've changed anything here, but I did change. This used to hold my ink pads, and I ordered the Stampin' Up thing that holds ink. Ink Caddy, I think it's called. And so I have that, and I almost filled it with the ink that I already have from Stampin' Up. Whoops, my card from Robin is falling over. So Robin sent me this really sweet card. She's Robin's Nursing Journey on YouTube. She sent me this really cute card when Maya passed away this summer, so that was sweet of her. I keep all of the cards that YouTubers send me. I keep them up there, and I just kind of rotate which ones are showing and which ones are up, and then I have a little assortment of other cards that didn't fit. That's like an Umbra card display thing. And I have another, I keep a few of the leftovers that don't fit or are out of season. I just keep in this L'Enfant bag. So let me talk about what else has changed. Right, so I moved my Stampin' Up! Ink pads from here over to there, which left me this nice unit right here, in which I store all of my non-Copic markers, colored pencils, watercolor pencils, journaling pencils, and whatever else. And I have them sort of organized so that these are general journaling pens, these are distress markers and kind of like specialty markers. So I've got some Wink of Stella there. I have all of my Stampin' Up! Stampin' Write markers right there. These are all, what is it called? Prisma colored pencils. These are all glitter pens. These are all slick surface writing pens. They're mostly all Lumo color, but I've got a couple of slick writers in here too from American Crafts. Not a huge fan of the slick writer. I really prefer the Stettler Lumo colors. That's what they look like. And I have some in fine and some in medium. Those are very old. I had them from grad school when I used to do a lot of overhead transparency stuff. Or no, not grad school, actually from undergrad. Then these are other pens, more other pens that I don't quite use very much. I might get rid of those, but I've got the space, so I'm just keeping them. And then those are Stampin' Up! Watercolor pencils from a long time ago. So I took another one of those drawers that I showed you over here. Sorry about all the moving, but that I keep my stamps in. I put another one right here, and it just holds my things that I reach for a lot, like my Stays On and Surfaces ink pads and a whole bunch of enamel dots in one of those little containers like those, and my acrylic blocks. I keep my MISTI, which stands for the Most Incredible Stamp Tool Invented. I keep that right here underneath of this shelf. And on top of, this is a sideways drawer from the 4-drawer unit, so it is the drawer that's missing from right there. I just put it on its side, and I keep my 6x6 paper pads in it, and I keep the MISTI right here. So that's what this is, and some stamps that I have been, or some cards that I half made a long time ago and never did finish. So as usual, my punches are on the wall. My overflow punches are right there. I've got some little die cuts and stuff in that. I do have a second tripod in here now, so this is where all of the process video stuff happens, is right here. I work right there. I have my big video light right there. And usually the camera that I'm holding right now is attached to that tripod. I did get a new ball head for it because the ball head I had was really, really inexpensive, and it slipped sometimes and wasn't the greatest, and I don't know, Scott wanted me to have the one that actually goes with the tripod. The good thing about having that ball head is that it matches with that ball head, so I can just take my camera very quickly out of that and put it in, this is Scott's tripod, so when he's not using it, I have it just set up here. It points at my sewing machine so that when I move over to my sewing machine, I can just slip my camera out of that and slip it right into that, and it fits perfectly, because when I had the other ball head, the plate for that is different than the plate for that, so I had to unscrew the thing from my camera and put a new one in and clip it in. It was a bit of a pain. So now it should be a lot easier for me to record my sewing and also my typing when I do it over here at my typewriter. I'll just turn the tripod the other way. So that tripod is new. It's not new, it's my husband's. I'm just kind of borrowing it. And here's where I keep some of my newer things that haven't made their way into my stash yet. So if I go shopping, I recently went to my local scrapbooking store and I bought these, just a handful of small little couple of things. So I got these Halloween embellishments and the Chamel wood grain embossing folder, and I got 2 sets of stickers. I also keep, I don't subscribe to the Lawn Fawn, or to the Freckled Fawn. Yeah, I might have called that a Lawn Fawn bag. I meant Freckled Fawn. Anyhow, I don't subscribe to the Freckled Fawn Embellishment Kit Club, but I do buy one every once in a while. So I have one, I think this is the August one, and this is the October one, or September. I don't know. Anyways, I bought two really close together, and I bought the Christmas one too. So this is just a little Rubbermaid spinny thing that doesn't really need to spin, but it's just a tray that I keep my new things in. And the reason I bought that was actually because I had heard that this doesn't spin very well, but mine spins perfectly. Look at it. Look at it go. I mean, oh, I'm losing Robin's card again. Okay, so when I don't have a card in it, it spins beautifully. Watch. So perfect. And what I love about this, as opposed to when I had my ink pads stacked up here, when I pulled one out, they would all come crashing down. Whereas with this, I can just like grab one and put it back pretty easily. Sort of pretty. See, even with one hand. So I'm just going to put that card back up because it's really pretty and inspiring, and I like to have it there while I scrapbook so I can look over and see it. This is all the same. I have my Big Shot right up here along with my dies. That's the same, but I did clear off the top of this. It had some doll clothes that I had sewn, and a bunch of other kind of doll accessories there. So those are my Adirondack mists, which are quite old. But I do still use them whenever I break out my mixed media stuff, which isn't very often. Those are my embossing folders in this. And then my sticker maker. And this was from my wedding. It was one of we decorated the tables with pillar candles, and then these little teeny weeny little shells that I bought online in mason jars, and my sisters-in-law helped me. Well, they didn't help me. They did it. They decorated it for me. So I have a little photography area here, which I use mostly for doll photography, but also if I'm ever taking a picture of a small project like a card, or sometimes if I'm taking pictures of small things that I might sell on Kijiji or something, I'll take a picture there. Just, it's convenient having the lights set up there already, and I have a variety of different pieces of fabric and backdrops that I can hang there for when I'm doing doll photography, which is typically a fall and winter hobby of mine. I don't usually touch the dolls too much. They're pull-up dolls. I don't usually touch them too much in the summer. This is soap making stuff and a variety of different weird things that are not scrapbooking supplies. I just recently started making soaps, and I'm just doing it for a little bit of a hobby, just for fun, and with my kids. I'm not doing the kind of soap making that involves using lye. I'm just using melt and pour soaps, and it's just kind of like a fun way to make some gifts for people and stuff like that. So I had to get a couple of kitchen supplies that I don't want to keep in my kitchen because I don't want to mix it up with the food utensils, so I just keep it all here because I had these extra Jetmax cubes when we purged down some of my kids' craft supplies. So that used to be here, and it had kids' crafts in it, but I'm not storing it that way anymore. Yeah, so this is where I keep my kids' crafts, and you guys saw that already. And this is my sewing supply stuff. So this is my cutting table. I have like a cutting mat here, and I also have this ironing mat, which is a godsend because it means that I don't have to set up an ironing board in here, and I have a portable or iron there, like a travel iron, so it's smaller and it's just easier to keep on the shelf. And yeah, so I like having that for when I do sew. It's nice to have an iron that you can use. And then this is a combination of my sewing stuff and my kids' crafts and scrapbooks and stuff. And this is all like sewing stuff and decorative stuff and some mini albums that I made a long time ago and that sort of thing. And then I did put up a lot of my kids' crafts. Like, they give me stuff for Mother's Day every year, so I've got like that and a whole bunch. That's something that I made when I was a kid that my mom and dad had held on to for me. And then those are all things that my kids have made And those are things that my kids have made. And then eventually I'll put more up there, because every year goes by, they make me more stuff. So, and I like to have it out and around. That's the sign that I use. It's a little chalkboard on the other side, and it says on air. I just wrote on air on chalk, and it lets my family know that I'm in here videotaping so that they don't interrupt, although it doesn't really work because they just look at the sign and walk in anyways. So anyways, yeah, I think that that's it. And then I did put my printer right over here beside my computer. I love my big old-fashioned desk, and I recently got a charging station for my wireless keyboard and trackpad because I was going through batteries like crazy. So Scott just ordered this for me on Amazon. It has like these go in instead of batteries, and they stick out a little bit like you see right there. And so I'm just charging the trackpad one right now. I have regular batteries in my trackpad for now. And I put my little printer there. It's my PictureMate Charm printer, which I love. It prints just 4x6 pictures. And then I have a couple of extra lights here for when I do my scrap chat. I get like a lot of shadows on my face from the lights are strange in here. And so I have an OT light there that I kind of shine. I kind of direct it this way so that when I hold stuff up, my webcam is right there. So when I hold stuff up, I just tilt it up so that when I show stuff up close, you can see the up close stuff. And then I just swing this light around here so that it's kind of shining on my face, so I don't have horrible, weird shadows all over my face when I'm doing my scrap chats. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. This is my room. It's not too different from the way that it was before, but I thought I'd share because I'm just so excited about having that cork board, and there were a couple of little things that I changed.